Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for your time watching this video. My name is Vanessa Mendoza. I am a real estate agent in Washington State. As many of you know, my former job experience for 13 years was on property management. I recently changed careers. As a matter of fact, I got my real estate license because my goal was to be a regional manager. But I never got to apply for that role because there are things that factor into our lives and sometimes we have no control over them. But what we can control is how we react to those unexpected changes. So here I am, brand new to YouTube and social media, bringing my face out there so that I can expand my connections and conquer the real estate industry. Probably you're thinking why I'm talking about the listing of the day and tips for a job interview on my YouTube videos. Maybe it doesn't make sense to you at the beginning, but I have two great reasons. One, I'm here for the long shot. So when the younger adults are looking for a job and get inspired by one of my videos, and that young adult becomes a home buyer, I want to be on that person's head. So hopefully they call me to help them on the next step, which will be buying a home once they have the job they want. And the second reason is that if I can help someone to get inspired, to get the job they want, to get the courage they need, that is fulfilling. Just that is enough for me. Training and helping my mentees while I was the boss to get promoted was such a good feeling. I do believe in good karma, and I know that what goes around comes around. I already had 3 people around me that they were trying to help and motivate me at the beginning of before I got the license, because I could not pass the test. And once I got my license, one of them is like a family member. Her name is Kathy Anderson. She's a real estate agent, but we were co-workers at one point for about 3 years. The second person was my sister, Jasmine Mendoza. She was also on the on the property management industry, but now she's on the real estate. The third person is the one that made me cry. I don't know her. Her name is Lo Sherio. She has a Facebook group. I have posted a few videos in there when I did open houses, or my first YouTube video I posted on her page. But when I posted that first YouTube video, she reached out to me by Messenger. She was asking if I had time for a Zoom call so that she could share some tips with me to improve the channel. So the first thing that came to my mind was to ask if she charged for that and how much was gonna cost me, because I did want to help, but I have no money to pay for more trainings or leads or anything like that. So then she said she would share some YouTube trainings and videos while we were on the Zoom call because it was for free. And she told me that those YouTube and videos were for free as well. She said that it was nothing that I had to pay, and that she wanted to talk to me because 14 years ago she was starting on her career and she got a lot of no's. But she found one person that said, I see that you're trying, so just because of that, I'm going to help you. So when she saw my video, she felt the same way about me. So she wanted to connect. And that made me cry just when we were hanging up on the Zoom call. So that is enough for me to help others, because I know that what I have done already in the past, people is coming forward trying to help me for free, people I have never met. So I'm thankful, and I would like to share some of the knowledge I gained while I was in the property management industry. So maybe you're not looking for a job that is going to be on the property management, leasing consultant, or manager, but I think that every hiring person has something in common that looks for on resumes. So I'm gonna give you some tips that those tips were given to me at some point, and they helped me. Here is some homework for you. If you don't have an account with LinkedIn and Indeed, please make one so that you have your resume ready for others to view, and you can start the job search for the job that you want. Because remember, maybe you don't have the job that you want right now, maybe you are not making as much as you want to be making right now, but this is part of the process, the beginning. Get ready so when the job opportunity is around, you're ready to go for it and be ready for it. You're gonna open LinkedIn and you are going to write about yourself and work experience. And it's okay if you're just getting out of high school, or you are in college and working, and now you want to go to college and have a better job, and your job experience doesn't it's not this related the same as what you're applying for right now. It's okay. We all have been there where the job experience that we have doesn't reflect on the job that we want to have. But it is okay, because you can have reference from professors or co-workers. So make it look as pretty as possible, but also keep it real. That is important. Do not lie in your resume. You can make your resume on LinkedIn, and then I believe that you can make it, once you have it in there, you can also download it as a PDF. But my recommendation is that you have your resume as well on your computer, or email that to yourself. If you don't have a computer, send to yourself the Word document resume and a PDF format of the same resume. You want to keep the Word document one so that you can keep editing as you gain experience, because you don't want to go back and start from scratch. But you are going to start cleaning up the resume with more experience that you're going to be having in the future for future jobs. Never send a Word document as with your resume to nobody. It does not look professional. Plus, anybody could edit what you send. So just make sure you always do PDF format. Once you have your page on LinkedIn, make sure you endorse others and you ask others for endorsements. You can ask your mentors, your colleagues, your teachers and co-workers, so that you can get connected with others and others can see, because those connections will have more connections and it's like a little tree, and then you're gonna be exposed to more. On Indeed, make sure you have your resume up to date. So make sure when you put in the resume and you're looking for a job, make sure you go back, edit that resume, make sure that is current to your current job experience. Do not send an old resume that doesn't look good. It demonstrates to others that you were lazy enough to send a resume without reviewing the resume, and you will not get that job. Then make sure that you label that resume in a professional way. Make it easy for others So when they download the attachment to their computer, because they are busy, they are not receiving only your resume, they are receiving hundreds of other resumes for the same position. But if yours is labeled in a way that is going to make their life easier, when they are reviewing the resumes that they're going to be calling people back for a job interview, probably yours will be one of the first ones, because you just made their day by making it easier to remember. For example, if I was applying for that regional manager position, my resume will be labeled as Vanessa Mendoza, resume, regional manager position. And that way, without opening that attachment, they know what the attachment is about. They will know my name before they open my resume. It's not going to be just a resume or regional manager position. It's better if you add the name, the position that you're applying for, and then what it is. Is it a resume? What it is attachment for? Because it could be that it's not a resume, it's something else, and then they will put your email somewhere else. A professor of mine, while I was going to the Bry University, I did not graduate from there, but I went for 2 years. Like, I cannot remember his name to save my life here right now, but I've been thinking about him, and I know I have him on my LinkedIn, so I'm gonna look for his name. He made an impact on me, and the way that he taught his class. The impact that he made on me was so big that I still apply that to today's date, like 13 years later. He said that we needed to make things easier for whoever was receiving the email that we were sending. He said, if you make things easier for the person that is receiving the email, it's gonna be easier for them to save that email and to remember you, because they are trying to add somebody in the team that is gonna help them make their life easier. And sometimes just the email makes a difference. So he said that the email subject line, or your homework, that when you do homework and you're going to send it to them, just label the email like with the subject line of what the email is going to be about. So before they even open that email, they know if they have time to read that email right now, or if they have a subfolder that they're gonna move that email and read that email later. Or it's easier for them to keep it organized. Remember, the people that you are sending your information, they're busy. Probably they're hiring managers or human resources, that if it's somebody from human resources reviewing your email before it goes to the hiring manager, imagine how many emails that person has. So when you make things easier for them, they will remember you, and they will pick your email and pick your resume before they discard, and they will discard the other ones that will say just resume or nothing on it. And I personally don't think that it's a good idea to send a resume with a link, because I don't open links. Like, if I don't know the person, I do not open the link. And sometimes even if you know the person, you ask them before you open the link to see if they send you something by a link, because now your friend could get hacked and then they will send you an email with a link, and your friend is not aware because his account was hacked. So do not send it by a link. It doesn't look professional either. So make sure your subject line is short, simple, and keep it to the fact, like, so that they know what it is about that you're sending. Like, if it's a homework, say Vanessa Mendoza homework, and then maybe what the homework is about, or the date that was assigned, or the date that you're sending it, so that it's easier for them to keep track. And believe me that they will remember your work above all the other employees or students. Once you are successful with your resume and you get the call for the job interview, because a lot of people don't get a phone call for the job interview. A lot of people just get a call to say thank you for sending the resume, but at this time we don't think that you fit for the opening that we have. Maybe we can talk about it in the future. But when you make it to the job interview, please make eye contact. I know that for me it comes naturally, but I know that it takes a lot of effort for others. But making eye contact demonstrates confidence. So if you have a hard time making eye contact, practice with yourself on the mirror, then practice with friends, then practice with strangers, so that when you have the actual job interview, you already practiced a lot, and then it's gonna be easier for you. About 14 years ago, when I first got my the job I wanted as a leasing consultant back in September 2009, I applied in so many places. Nobody wanted to give me the opportunity because I was just learning English. I was taking classes for ESL, so English as second language. I was not done with the program yet. I was on level 7. I was passing from 6 to 7, and it was 8 levels before I could get regular classes in the college. But Jennifer Smith, she hired me, and she has mentioned this a few times to me, that when she saw me coming all professional, dressed professional, remember, dress for success, that's something I learned in Job Corps. We'll talk about Job Corps in a different video. And then I got a little portfolio with everything that I have done, because my resume didn't have any office experience other than helping in a church. That Job Corps put me in there, like they made the connection for me so I could help on that church as office assistant, and it was I was not getting paid, so it was free, but my payment was that I was learning to answer the phones, to be professional, to more than anything, to practice English. So I brought everything that I did at Job Corps. I brought all my diplomas, everything that I was doing at Job Corps, and that they gave me, because certificates that they gave me for every class that I was taking with them, because I did not want to go with the hands empty, because literally my background experience was just on the food industry, and the only kind of office experience was working at Dolex. It's a money transfer company, but it has nothing to do with renting an apartment or trying to sell an apartment. So she just saw that I was trying, and just because of that, she gave me the job opportunity, and I am so thankful, because it was hard. I don't know how I did it. I remember when I was getting work orders, like when people calls from the apartment, or they go to the office and say, hey, my toilet is broken, it's not flushing, and then I would have to repeat back exactly what they say to make sure that I was understanding, because it was hard for me. Like sometimes I will write it down and then look the pieces of the toilet in Google to translate to English, because I didn't know them. But fake it until you make it. So I did that, and it was really hard, but I overcame all my fears about the number one, speaking English to strangers, and my biggest fear was to making a mistake. Thankfully, I don't recall any mistakes I had made because of my English. Sometimes my English will come back to the office and ask me what I meant on the work order, because sometimes it did not make sense, but they were nice enough to ask me, and then I will explain and fix it. And that's how I started. The name of the property back then was Rolling Hills. It was built in 1987, I remember, because that's the year I was born. And that's how I started. And then I was going to work full-time, and I was still going to college full-time. On my 2 days off, I will go to college all day, take classes back to back. Just remember that once you get the job, continue to work on the same level as you demonstrated to be during the job interview and the hiring process, because it is not fair that you do all of those things and then you don't show up to work. Showing up to work is half of the battle, but then when you are in there, have a positive attitude, have the I can do that attitude. Don't complain. If you don't know how to do it, just fake it until you make it. Ask for help. Make sure that you ask for help, and that you read the manual, and that you don't get in trouble for not knowing what you're doing. But if you want to buy your house by yourself, because I encourage you to just get it done by yourself. Don't wait to get married and then you're gonna buy a house with your husband or wife. I think that you can start by yourself, and then when you find your future husband or wife, then you already have something, and hopefully that person already has something, so that you guys can start with a better foot that others could not. So don't wait for others' help. Work on yourself so that you can achieve your dreams and do what it takes and what it has to be done. Good luck. If you want me to review your resume or LinkedIn or Indeed account for a second or third opinion, let's connect. Send me a message so that we can exchange emails. My next video will be about leadership skills, unless you have another topic that you would like to talk about. Even if I have to research, I will do that for you. If you are already a retired person, professional that have some tips, please, we welcome those in here. I'll be happy to connect and talk about that and share your knowledge with others as well. So please, if you find that this video is helpful, like the video and subscribe. If you are looking for a real estate agent because you are ready to buy your house in Washington, let me know. I live in Tacoma, so I could work Tacoma, Seattle, Puyallup area. Let's get in touch. But if you are still making it, let's talk about what options, what are your dreams, what is your goal, what is the job that you want to get, and don't get discouraged. See you next time.